This February, history will be made. Millions will watch as 80 years of unjust stigma is left in the past. A product that drove good people to the black market will be revealed as one that's creating a new global market. This February, what inspired the symbol of counterculture will at long last be seen as just culture. The new normal is coming. Will you be one of the first to see it? Visit medmen.com to watch an exclusive preview.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's the kid K-Dog coming at you live from the prefect bathroom. I overheard Harry get told it was a pretty good place to take a dump. But anyways, I just want to give a quick disclaimer about this episode. We do get out of hand and get a little rowdy and shisty at some point. So if you are easily offended, I would say just go ahead and skip this one. It is a lot of good information, and it is a good episode in our eyes, but there is a lot of dark humor in this one. So just a heads up. And don't forget to stick by at the end. We do play a promo from one of our favorite podcasts, Mall Podcast. That's MAUL for Mysteries and Urban Legends. Our friends from Australia. So thank you for lending us Matthew Dellavedova that helped us win the championship here in Cleveland. But alrighty, everyone, thanks for listening. Be good, stay safe, and laugh at the dark stuff.
All right, fellas, like we practiced.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Come on down. Come on down. Hanging with the brothers tonight, yeah. Come on down to the brothers Commonplace tonight.
Yeah, we're running a little bit hot tonight. I can barely see the road from the heat coming off of it. And you reach down between my legs, ease the seat back. Down Panama!
Panama.
Panama!
Oh, Panama!
Pan and Jim.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to another episode of The Brothers Commonplace. We are a comedy podcast that covers monsters, murders, mysteries, and more. And today I want to introduce you to a very bright bunch of boys, my only friends. One of them is my lover. So let's go go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
What's up, guys? This is him, or as they called me in school, System of a Down syndrome.
Hey everyone, this is Toof. I want to start off with a joke of mine that I just made up. What does Steve-O and an orphanage have in common? They're both funnier when they're on fire.
Holy shit,
God.
dude.
Oh,
God damn.
What up? This is Spence. I just want to take this moment to plug my new online shop. You can find it at whiterun.geocities.com/smithinggrinder47.
Hell yeah.
White Run.
I like it. And last, but certainly not least,
Yo, it's Andrew, and yeah, oh yeah, it's Ned Schneebly.
Alright, so today we will be talking about the Lost Girls of Panama. And I know when I texted it to Andrew, I didn't realize it auto-corrected it to the Lost Gold of Panama. Did you catch that?
Andrew's getting up to leave now because
He's like, horse shit.
Research the wrong shit.
He pulls out those like big scissors they do whenever like the mayor is doing something. I don't
Fuck
know. And
yeah.
he cuts all of our microphone cables with it.
Then he castrates us with it.
Then he castrates us.
Oh, yes.
He tries to castrate me, but we open the door real quick since it's winter out, and he misses because they go up into my body.
Every time I go to have sex, Andrew pulls out those scissors and cuts off the tip of my condoms. Like, hell no, we do it raw dog in here.
Oh, my God, yes.
So are you guys banging in that story then?
He tried castrating me, but it was too late because I was in Heaven's Gate.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Nah, man, he's like Santa's little helper. The dog from The Simpsons.
So the disappearance of, I think it sounds like, okay.
Go on, you can say it.
I think it's Lisanne.
Oh, that one.
Like Garfield?
he really liked her.
So the disappearance of Lisanne Froon and Kris Kremers.
Are you going to use their middle names?
What is it?
She's got a nice para.
That's not funny. These girls are dead. But
They were beautiful.
4 years ago.
They were
These
beautiful.
girls died.
they were pretty good looking.
Yeah, they were cute girls.
No.
Well, one of them. No, that's me. No, that's just a joke. That's a joke. So we're going to refer to them as Lisanne and Kris, which would be easier to use their last name, but I know how all of us are, and I don't want to keep saying Kremers over and over.
Shit, dude. What for crispy creamers?
Dude, if her middle name was like Patricia or something, it would be Kris P. Kremers.
Oh, yes.
But I'm I'm like 99% sure it's not pronounced Kremers. So,
It should be.
so
It's coffee. Coffee creamers.
hey, come on. We're not going to get anywhere at this rate.
All right.
God damn.
In March of 2014, two Dutch females, Lisanne and Kris, went to Panama on a vacation in celebration for graduating. And I think one of the most frustrating things about this case is trying to understand some of the thoughts and events that occurred and not knowing what the two girls were thinking.
Absolutely. Andrew agrees.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you just had that weird helmet thing from Back to the Future 1 that Doc had, you would know what they were thinking.
The two had spent months working and saving up enough money so that they could take the trip. Their goals were to take the trip to help them learn Spanish, and they wanted to help out the locals and volunteer to help the children there as well. So they sound like really good people.
Yeah.
Lisanne had gotten a degree in applied sciences. I'm just going to start calling her Liz from here on out.
Yeah.
And Kris had completed her studies in cultural social education, focusing on art education.
Did any of them studying geography?
I'm not sure, too. Why?
Because they should have.
You're such a dick.
I do kind of wish Lisanne would have been like a culinary student.
I know.
that'd be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that would have just made it a little better
I
for me.
think they got their like hiking advice from Timothy Treadwell.
God, yes.
Wait,
That's a grizzly man, right?
no, culinary. Is that food stuff?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll save it for later.
Just say it, dude. Let's get it out of the way, man.
Okay. Well, them being Dutch and having a somewhat culinary background, if they were like struggling for food, they could have used an oven, and since they would have been proficient in the Dutch oven techniques.
So they took this trip as a reward to themselves because college is a huge milestone to complete, so they definitely earned it after that. And I believe they were planning to stay in Panama for 5 to 6 weeks or so, and they arrived there on March 15th, which right there is the first problem because beware the Ides of March.
Oh.
So scoot that shit forward a day and go on 316 Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's right.
Day.
Why would you not have done that?
Exactly.
We need the glass breaking in the background.
Just break one. Break that beer bottle, Tim. That noise, I can't wait to hear that sound effect, that playback.
Did he open a Fresca?
That wasn't. I didn't do that with my mouth. I actually just queefed.
So they take their trip to Panama, and they spend a couple of weeks touring, exploring, and enjoying the new sights. Then on March 29th, they arrive in Boquete, and they are set to stay with a local family for about a month. And while they do their volunteer work there, they help out with the local children and things like that. And this is where things get a little shisty.
Ooh.
April 1st, again, another day that you just don't want to go out and do shit on.
No, not
Because
really.
if you call for help, ain't nobody going to help on April Fool's Day.
Yeah, unless you tell them like the opposite has happened, and they might believe
That's
you.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
They should have stayed in because everyone knows WrestleMania is on that day pretty much.
Most of the time, it is. Yeah.
So in
Maybe this whole disappearance is just one big April Fool's prank.
we can't rule that out,
Yeah.
except for the bones.
I mean, they just got that
Pelvis.
from KFC, so.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
On April 1st, they made the decision to go hiking with their host dog, Blue. So you're my boy, Blue.
Oh.
And this was around 11 a.m. and near the forest that surrounded, I think it's Baru volcano. And what is puzzling and frustrating is the girls were set to hike this area the following day with a trail guide named Feliciano. So if they would have just waited a day, they would have been all right. They
Yeah.
would have had a trail guide with them.
Wait, so they did this without a trail guide?
Yeah, they did it the day before. Like,
Who-
they did it on their own.
Who was the blue guy?
Their dog. It was like the locals'
Oh.
dog.
Oh, wait. I thought you said his name was Doug Blue. Was it? Did you say Dog Blue?
Dog.
Oh, I thought you said his name was Doug Blue.
No.
That makes sense now.
Blue.
Did they have any trail mix?
I don't know.
Dude, actually, Blue is a pretty sweet name for a dog.
That
though.
is cool.
I like
That's a
that.
cool name.
Did they have a? Never mind.
No, you already started. You might as well ask.
No, I was gonna go along with Spencer's, but talk about a mix for the road trip. The trail trip. I'm sorry.
And one weird thing, according to Chris's diary, they had arrived a week early in Boquete, and the program administrators were, quote, very rude and not at all friendly. So that's why they were there with nothing to do for the week, and they decided to go out hiking. And in her final diary log, she stated, tomorrow they will try and get a hold of the head teacher. This was a real disappointment. Anyway, go with the Panamanian flow. So that was like the last thing in her diary.
Yeah.
There's almost kind of something like go with the Panamanian flow is kind of funny because like it'd be like go forward, stop, let it fill up. Go forward, stop, let it fill up. Go forward, stop, let it sink down. Go forward, stop, let it sink down.
Are you just describing the canal?
Yeah.
That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It's Panamanian gone wild.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And according to one expert on the trails and area, quote, sometimes turistas get lost, but they usually turn up again, or they're found by our search parties. Most come back hungry and embarrassed, but they usually always come back. So the fact that Kris and Liz didn't come back, it's very strange and also very rare around here.
Yeah.
Very rare is also what some of the locals cooked them at.
Oh, come on.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Jesus Christ.
Holy
You son of a bitch. Well, it is a theory.
It is.
Honestly, it's the one I think of the most, honestly.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
it's funny.
talk about theories.
Is it the most plausible theory, though?
We'll talk about theories at the end.
Well, it's
guys.
funny because I know that Andrew takes his steak rare.
Dude, I
So
almost said that. Something about rare steak. but I didn't.
And you still haven't taken those damn shoes off, Andrew.
to show us that you're not the fucking Wendigo. Was it? No, it was the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. So the trail they go on was known as the Pianista. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not. And I think it was a 3-mile stretch, but I think it starts off kind of easy, and then you can branch out into it, and it gets really difficult. And it was kind of hard to find out exactly what the trail was like. So if there's anyone that does know and they could let us know, that would be super cool. So there is a quote that states, most tourists go up to the Mirador and snap a few selfies. Then they come straight back down the same path to town, says Plinio Montenegro, who grew up in Boquete and led several search parties for Kris and Liz in the days after they disappeared.
Huh.
So who knows if they were actually planning on going on the full hike or they just wanted to go up for a bit and take some pictures and come back. No one will ever know.
Who's the guy that is looking for the dude that killed his father in The Princess Bride?
Spence?
Inigo Montoya.
That name reminded me of that so much.
I read that in one of their diaries, they talked about how they had planned this song they were going to sing for the tour, the trail guide when they found him. Guide us on the trail, you're the pianista, man.
Holy shit, that's good, dude.
Like they said, they wrote like 7 pages in their diary about that plan,
They were really planning it.
and that the real tragedy is they never got to sing it.
That's the real tragedy. I really thought it was gonna be a Montenegro song or
yeah.
comment. So
Yeah.
that caught me off guard. Spence, that was good, man. I liked it.
Turbo Montenegro.
I don't know what that is.
Instead of the band Turbo Negro.
Fuck yeah.
And I believe they researched the actual trail before heading out on their computer that morning. It's like they Googled all about it, so they like knew what they could expect. And they didn't really take any food or supplies with them. So I don't know why they continued to adventure out further than they did. So that doesn't sound very smart to me. You're 2 white Dutch girls in a new country, and you're going to go out alone hiking where you've never been. And in less than 24 hours, you would have had an actual guide with you.
Yeah, like why not just wait? But is it because they said that people were rude to them?
Well, they had a free week to do stuff when they got here.
Yeah.
But they still, like I said, they still had it set up for the next day. So I don't know if
Yeah,
you're
it's
that bored or...
Yeah.
But you got to know that's going to be so dangerous, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe this is all just a case of selfies and likes, man. They're just trying to... I mean, honestly, like you said, you go to the top of the mountain, you get a selfie. That's about
Yeah.
it. I mean, that's what we're going for.
So if you were a quickie.
Andrew.
Yeah, I like it.
And later on in the evening, Blue had come back home, but without the girls. The family, of course, was concerned and was said to have tried to make contact with their relatives, but they weren't able to. And I'm hoping that at least Blue was told he was a good boy. So at least there could be one nice thing about this story.
It all depends on if you finish that notebook with Steve or not.
Was Blue like a local dog, or was he their Dutch dog too?
Oh, he was the local dog here.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I thought if he spoke Dutch, like he can like try and translate some stuff. Like he
The dog.
like the Dutch family comes up and was like, "Dog, like tell us everything you know about the like our daughters, introduce yourself." He's like, "I'm Blue, ba ba bee ba doo ba ba da bee ba boo ba." I don't speak Dutch, so I can't really say it that well, but
Well, that was perfect Dutch, man.
Dude, how did I not see that coming at
Well,
all?
I heard when they asked him, he actually went up to it. He's like, I don't speak freaky deaky Dutch. Which that's just from Goldmember.
And I'm not sure how true this part is, but I did see on some sources that the girls had posted on Facebook that they were going to go hiking around Boquete. And also, it was supposedly reported that they had been last seen having brunch with 2 young Dutch men. So I don't know if there's just like a lot of Dutch people in this area or something, because otherwise that seems like really fishy to me. 2 Dutch girls just happen to meet up and have brunch with 2 Dutch guys. But who knows? It could mean nothing. It just seems a little shisty to me.
The guys might have been the castaways of the Flying Dutchman.
And on the morning of April 2nd, Liz and Kris never showed up to their appointment with the guide. So the guide went to the host family to see if they were there, and the 2 girls were nowhere to be found, except for almost all their possessions that were still there. However, the girls did take their cell phones with them.
did they take their bong and a blitz? They're smoking a pancake?
April 3rd, authorities began searching the area, speaking with locals, and even doing aerial searches over the forest, which I imagine would be very difficult to find somebody in. But then I also heard in reports that the first official search didn't begin until April 6th, which upset a lot of people because that's almost a week later.
Yeah.
And according to some sources, only a few of the villagers went out to search for the first few days.
Why'd they wait so long?
I have no idea.
Well, the villagers were under the impression that they were living in the 1800s.
Oh, fuck yeah, the village. Nice. I like that.
So
That's
they
good.
sent the fucking blind girl to find him? Yeah, so on some reports it says that they sent out this giant search right away, and then some say it was only like the locals, like there's a few of them because they know the area better,
Yeah.
but only like a handful of them actually went out to search for him, and it wasn't like almost a full week later till they sent out like the big search. The first 24 hours are always like the most crucial, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
So when the actual search begins, it became a huge search. They sent dogs, people, helicopters, detectives, everything else that they could. And their parents were worried as well because they hadn't received any texts from their daughters, which was weird because they were getting texts from them every day. And for the last few days, they hadn't received any.
Yeah. I just want to throw this out there. This will be my last one, but they also sent out the fembots to help find them. All right, I'm done.
But Andrew was out there on vacation dancing up a storm and blew all their tits off.
Yeah, I did like to see the machine gun jubblies.
That's one thing I was kind of wondering, like the reception they got there. If they were in a town that had like a weird antenna or tower so they can get reception out. If they're in the woods, like if they went from like 4G to like 1X or whatever, you know?
Yeah, I actually saw, they said they had a guy who walked around with like a golf. No, I'm not good. They did not. We'll talk about the cell phone reception. It's going to be a golf club. Just one guy walking around the village with a golf club and like one of those military packs like the army dudes have that they turn the crank. So the parents would show up, I believe, on the 6th or 8th, and they tried to assist in the search. They even offered $30,000 as a reward. And they showed up with the Dutch police and like 10 search dogs or so. So the Dutch were like not messing around at all. They wanted to figure this out. While it seemed like Panama, they were kind of just not that in depth, or they weren't that quick on their feet to actually try and figure anything out.
I would almost say it's not even that. It's kind of just like they knew. They knew that there's indigenous people and more wild people in these forests. And like, it's not that we don't care. It's just that we kind of know the likely outcome of what happened.
Could be.
Well, Yeah, we'll talk about what their actual report was for what they said the cause of deaths were.
Yeah, but we know what Tooth thinks it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the search lasted about 10 days. Nothing was found, and there were no sightings of either girl. So everyone was kind of at like a dead end. There's no signs, no clues, nothing. Then after a few months, something is finally found. So I think it was like 10 weeks later. A member of the indigenous Njobe tribe, which I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, Njobe, Njobe. A member of the indigenous Njobe tribe showed up in Boquete with Liz's backpack and some of the girls' belongings. The female tribewoman said she found the backpack in a rice paddy by a riverbank near her village of Alto Romero in the Baco del Toros region.
Alto Romero's a sweet name.
That is sweet. It sounds like a fucking vampire.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah,
it could be a vampire or a vampire hunter.
Yeah, either one.
And I read this was about 5 miles from where the girls were last seen, but then I also saw it was like a 12-hour walk, so I'm really not quite sure.
Yeah.
And she also stated that it had not been there the day before. So if that's true, then it would mean that it had been placed there the day before, which would be kind of weird also.
Yeah. Or she's just lying about the whole thing. Like,
liar!
Because that's kind of what, like, one of the things I thought when I was reading it.
Yeah, it definitely seems a little fishy.
Yeah.
And inside the backpack were 2 pairs of sunglasses, $83 in cash, a water bottle, a camera, Liz's passport, 2 bras, and both of the girls' cell phones. And all the belongings were dry and in good condition.
Except for the bras.
Talk a little more about the bras.
Andrew actually saw the bras before anybody else, so they weren't dry when they go.
Yeah, but Andrew could probably tell us what they smelled like, though.
That's why he bought them on eBay.
Yeah, they smelled like Bigfoot's dick.
Fuck yeah.
Andrew was in the backpack and left, so there used to be 3 bras.
Yeah.
So one of the things is the backpack was found on like this riverbank, so people thought maybe they fell in the water in the river. But the cell phones weren't damaged at all, and everything was dry and packed in this backpack. So it's kind of a little weird also.
Everything was dry, and good thing Andrew already left, or else they would have found 2 wet panties. He took those with him.
Damn right I did.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he was on the hunt first, man. He had to beat those Dutch dogs there. He's like running along and sniffing the ground.
He's running on all 4s and shit.
Yeah, dude, I did the 5th sense, the sense of smell.
I'm like, did Ace Ventura do that in one of the movies, like run on all 4s? Am I thinking that right?
He did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, one weird thing about the backpack is there is a theory that the girls had possibly fallen into the river or possibly eventually died in the river. Regardless, the backpack was said to have been found on a riverbank, but the electronics and the phone that were in the backpack were all undamaged and had no water damage either. So they searched the area where the backpack was found, and they were able to find remains of clothing as well as a few skeletal remains.
A few Skeletor remains?
Skeletor. And later on, the Dutch Forensic Institute would examine the backpack and found that there were 30 or more unidentified fingerprints on it. But Panama had failed to record any of the prints from any of the indigenous people that were involved. So that doesn't mean, like, anyone could have touched his backpack before, you know? So that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it is something you probably should have followed up on or made note of.
Seems like there's a lot of stuff they should have done.
I like the way that in my notes, I'm like, yeah, the Dutch Forensic Institute examined the backpack, but Panama did not. Like, Panama's one guy.
Oh, fuck, yeah. I mean,
He's like, horse shit, I did that.
Somebody
Shut
did.
up, Panama.
Panama didn't record that, but somebody did record Panama. So
Panama. Their name was Van Halen,
that's right.
not Van Hagar.
We're not sure yet.
Not Van Helsing.
We're definitely not sure
I
yet.
don't know. Maybe he could show up later with Barocco del Toro, whatever that place was called. I forget what it's called. So maybe the fingerprints mean something. Maybe it doesn't. It still sounds suspicious. Or sounds like the police could have done a way better job than they did. And Kris's jean shorts were found, and they were said to have been zipped and folded and placed on top of a rock. I don't know how true that is, but... And close to where the backpack was found, a pelvis bone and a boot with a foot inside was found as well.
The shorts thing was on Wikipedia too.
Found a boot.
Where's the foot?
Das Boot.
And a search around the riverbank and area would later reveal 33 scattered bones and fragments, and all were able to be DNA tested and confirmed to belong to either Kris or Liz. But none of the large or long bones were found, and I don't believe any of the bone fragments had any teeth marks in them. So some people thought maybe they were killed by wild animals.
Yeah.
I mean, they still could have been. Maybe the remains were, but these ones, the pieces that were found, didn't have any like claw or teeth marks.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird that none of the big bones were found either.
Oh, that's creepy as shit.
And I also read on some sources that the native people of Njobi had also submitted bone chips that were from as many as 3 other individuals. Now, who those were, I have no idea, but that's a little crazy too.
And one of them, it was very small chip. It was from Andrew. It was his boner chip. I didn't mean that, Andrew. I take that
I
back.
have a small dick.
Did they say that the Njobi tribe, were they cannibals or no?
On the record or off the record?
Oh, I'd say on the record because that's like weird. They're like, oh yeah, I think that's their remains. We got 3 other ones over here too. A lot of people just end up dead on this trail near us, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
They found the remains, Roman remains.
Jesus Christ.
It was either going to be a romaine lettuce joke or that.
So they found the Roman remains, and somebody shoved that down their throats
Oh, fuck yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, but at least later they found the heel.
That's good.
Hopefully. I like that, Spence.
Good.
And I don't know how true this part is either, but it was stated that Liz's bones still had some skin on them, while Kris's bones appeared to have been bleached. And although the remains were found, there was not enough evidence to render a conclusive cause of death, which we will discuss later when we get to the actual theories. But it did also say that the bleaching of the bones could have been done from the sun, possibly.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, I don't know how bleached they were, if they just looked whiter. I really have no idea.
I just have one question for you boys. Who believes in the sun?
We know Andrew does.
Well, I just assumed you were real excited because I mentioned the word bleach, and I saw your fucking boner almost flip the table over.
I believe in the sun, that you're the son of Kevin Spacey, you son of a bitch.
Oh, shit.
God damn it.
Another thing that was soon investigated were the phone's call logs, and they were actually able to find out a lot of information in regards to the outgoing calls, so it's pretty interesting, and I was actually really impressed with a lot of the information they could find out just from this.
It's really creepy, too. I
Yeah.
think this is the scariest part.
So the outgoing calls are all logged, but none of them had gone through because of the lack of reception. And the first call is placed a few hours after they had set out on their hike. So we're going to talk about the actual calls now. April 1st, Kris had placed a 112 call, or which would be our 911, at 16:39, and Liz had placed a 112 call at 16:51. So on the first day, each girl appears to have made an attempt to call for help. And on April 2nd, both girls had again tried to call. Kris tried once, and Liz tried twice.
I'm really horrible with the military times. What time is 16?
4.
Okay, I thought that's what it was. I just wasn't sure.
And one really smart thing they did was they would try to make calls, and then they would shut their phones off to try and save the battery life because they had no idea how long they would be lost out here. And April 3rd, only one call was attempted, and it was by Kris's phone. However, both phones were turned on twice to check for signals, which I didn't know phones recorded whenever you turn them on.
I didn't either. That's kind of crazy. I hope they don't record my search history. you know?
Yeah.
I think it's just crazy how many times they put 411 in there.
I recorded every time you guys turned me on.
Oh, shit.
April 4th, 2 more check signals from Kris, and then no activity from Liz's phone. April 5th, 2 more check signals from Kris, and then 1 from Liz. But then shortly after, Liz's phone was turned on, and the battery fully died, and then there was no more activity from that phone. And April 6th, this is really interesting and leads to a lot of speculation. There are 2 check signals from Kris's phone, However, it was dialed as an emergency because the person calling wasn't able to put in the PIN number, but you can still make 911 or 112 calls as an emergency. So this leads people to believe that Kris had died on the 5th or 6th, and since Liz's phone died on the 5th, she had then used Chris's phone to try and call for help.
Yeah.
So that other cell phone is getting used, but since she doesn't know the PIN code, she can still call as an emergency, but it's showing that the PIN wasn't entered.
Yeah, I thought that was really creepy. Like with
Definitely.
because didn't they say it was like 40 attempts, wrong attempts at the password or something like that? I remember they said the number.
I'm not sure. I don't remember that, but I think it's pretty good. That's pretty good detective work.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I did some detective work. What's that from? Oh, it's from fucking Wayne's World 2.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Did I know that whole 40 times thing? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Think if she just would have got like one of them, she'd have been like 1 out of 32 or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it may not be 40, but I know it was like
Is that
lot.
a Browns record joke?
Oh, man.
And after this, there would be no more phone activity until April 11th, when there was one more signal check. And then after an hour and 5 minutes of being on, the phone died and there was no further activity. That's scary as shit.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Imagine being in the jungle as one of your friends is dying and then you're just fucked also.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see anything. It's dangerous as fuck. You can't get a hold of anyone. You have no food.
Yeah.
Tiny bit of water. Who knows?
Yeah.
And they speculated they were probably drinking river water because that was the only
it's
water.
gotta
So
be
they're all getting like mad diarrhea
Oh,
and stuff and
yeah.
super sick from that and getting even more thirsty.
Yeah.
Like, this is obviously just a joke, like, no disrespect, but like, I'd be pissed, like, man, that bitch didn't tell me her password before she died, man. Like, what the hell?
You would think that they would tell each other the passwords because, I mean, they know that they're pretty much at that moment where one of them may die.
That would suck if that was like me and you, Tim, and I'm like dying. I'm like, Tim, if anything happens, use my phone. The passcode is 6969. And then I die.
The one thing that Liz didn't try was her passcode was probably that 80s show, but she just didn't remember it because no one remembers it.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. See, I try to tell Kevin, because this actually did happen to me and Kev once. I don't know how I lived, but I tried to tell him what my password was, but mine's like one of those patterns. And as I'm about to die, I'm like, Kevin, it's basically the best you can do trying to draw a dick. Which you can't at all with one of those things.
I thought it was going to be one of those S's. Those S's from back in the day.
Holy shit, do you imagine doing one of those with that?
Dude. Wait, real quick, back to twos. How the fuck would you enter that 80s show as the
80s show into the
password every time
password?
you get on there? That 80s show?
I just use my fingerprint.
When you scan your fingerprint, it just shows up as that 80s show.
It's one of the face recognizing things that they just know he was in that 80s show.
So the next thing that was checked that also led to some speculation was the camera. The camera had, I think, 100 photos or so taken on it, and all were taken within the 10 days of their disappearance. Most of the pictures appeared to be normal vacation pictures, both of the women having fun, enjoying life and their vacation. And there were even a few pictures of them posing and smiling in front of a jungle terrain with a blue sky in the background. It actually looks really cool. And one picture, according to the phone data, was taken less than 2 hours before their first 911 call. So that makes it really eerie and kind of, I don't know, it's so weird to look at because you see them both, they're just smiling, having fun, and then less than 2 hours later, they call, they're just fucked.
Yeah.
Just like going tailgating at a Browns game. You show up at noon, everyone's smiling, having a good time. 2 hours later, they're all fucked.
It's not even 2 hours, dude. As soon as the game fucking starts.
Yeah, but 2 years in a row, baby, we are the draft champions. We got the number one draft pick
That's
again,
right,
baby.
That's right.
And a lot of the jungle photos are pretty awesome. There's rivers, big rocks to climb. It just looks like a really awesome area. But the girls are all wearing shorts and tank tops. Like, F that. I'm not going out in the jungle and that shit. I'm not going out in Jumanji with fucking jean shorts on, dude.
Yeah, fuck that.
Battling those big bugs.
Yeah. In one of the pictures, I don't know if a lot of people don't notice it, but I kind of zoomed in on one of them, and you just randomly just see Andrew in the background. He just crouched on it. He's crouched just really weird on like a rock, and
he has his dick out, and he also has a yo-yo with a really short string, and he's walking the dog up and down his dick.
The weather there, it was like 90 degrees in the day and like 70 at night.
Yeah.
Just FYI, so they might be wearing shorts because it's 90 degrees out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It just
Oh yeah, but what I'm
just seems
talking about is like
overexposed.
poisonous plants, animals, and shit like that. I wasn't even considering the temperature.
yeah.
I'm not saying it was a wise decision.
Yeah, poison ivy, man, that ain't no joke.
No, it's not. They could have died from that.
I know. Uma Thurman's scary.
She is.
So the rest of the photos, I think they said like 90 or so of them were taken in complete darkness. And I believe it was on April 8th, and they were all taken between 1 and 4 a.m. And I don't know if this is reaching or not, but it seems super weird to me that they would take pictures on April 1st, then 0 for the next 6 to 7 days. But then on April 8th, they take like 90. Some believe that they were taken just simply for the flash to be used, so they or she could create brief visibility and see where they're going. So that sounds terrifying also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just if that is what they were doing, using the camera flash to try to, I don't know if they were using it more to try to alert people or try to see, but I feel like if you try to use it to see, you're kind of going to get like disoriented. Like I don't know if it'd help you that much.
And you would only get like what, like a millisecond of
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they were maybe they heard something they were trying to see in front of them.
Imagine it fly. It's like a strobe light, but it's just naked Andrew dancing at you with his balls hanging
yeah,
out.
dude. Like he took it just to start dancing like he was in a fucking nightclub.
So these are taken at night then? Because I know they said like they took some pictures to kind of like remember where they were too.
Maybe. Like I know they were all taken at night, and I saw some of them were possibly used to that. I figured they would take more pictures, like to maybe of like each other to show, like, hey, this is an injury.
Yeah,
You know, I don't know, something, anything that would show that they were the ones for sure taking the pictures. That's why a lot of people think they're just using it to create the flash.
it would make sense to try to like get people to see at night because, I mean, like seeing just a random flash at night, if anybody is out there, that would be something that would like draw attention.
And I think whatever article I read, the Daily Beast is one. They said they were using pictures as like taking pictures of landscapes to try and remember where the hell they were too.
Oh, that makes sense though. It really does, yeah.
And just going off the information that the police know, they believe that the two girls had gone off the normal path, and one of them got injured, maybe falling or twisting an ankle, who knows. And then the other girl was trying to stay with her to provide help or wait for help, and then had become injured herself in the process, which then led to them starving, getting dehydrated, and then dying.
That would fucking suck, man.
I know, that's so scary.
Yeah,
dude.
that would
It really
suck
is, just
so
to be
bad.
fucking trapped out there.
Yeah. And Andrew could have helped him. He was too busy fucking dancing with his dick out.
I know. And for some reason, he had like the Band-Aid like Nelly wears. He had one of those on. He was trying to convince the people of Panama he was Nelly. I don't even know why.
He just got really tan and did that.
Tan and buffed up a lot.
If I can't believe that dog couldn't find him because like if all they were was drinking like the native water and they had diarrhea, I'm surprised that dog couldn't smell their fucking diarrhea panties from a mile away.
Dude, we already figured that out. Andrew took those.
Oh yeah.
And based on the pictures, it is believed that at some point by mid-afternoon on the first day of the hike, the girls had left the Pianista Trail and perhaps on accident crossed over to the other side and got lost. So they kind of think maybe they were on the trail and they either like branched off on their own thinking that they could handle it or it wasn't a big deal,
Why
or
would you
maybe
ever-
by accident. But they were so close to like to town, I think, from here, or like other people. I don't know.
Is that Pianista Trail the one like where they said the sign was hung up but then it wasn't or some shit like that?
Yeah, I did see something about that, like saying like the stay on the trail or something like that.
Yeah, like this is the end of the trail, turn back now or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
It was
yeah,
missing
yeah.
the next day or
Yeah.
then they put back up. Or,
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know if that was up when they did it or not. I couldn't remember. It was.
I think they said it wasn't up when they were on the trail, but like 3 days later they put that sign up.
Oh my god! So they probably just did that to cover their own tracks.
Yeah.
Like literally.
And that is, like, we'll talk about a little bit later. That is one theory about why Panama didn't really go too much into this, because they wanted to, like, protect their tourism. They didn't want to bring as much attention and stuff to it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
who knows? And there was also a very dangerous bridge called a monkey bridge. It's pretty much just 3 small ropes. And one of the theories is that they believe Kris fell off it, and that's how the initial injuries began. And when things started to get worse or they started to get lost or stuck, And there's pictures of this bridge, and I don't know how the fuck you would cross it or like why you would.
Yeah.
It's like super scary. So
I mean, if you ever told me we were gonna cross Monkey Bridge, I would have told you to fuck off. Like, yeah, I'm done. I was gonna crack a joke about like if it was Chris Angel, he just would have floated back up. But
dude, okay, this is super off topic. Remember that episode of Mind Freak where Chris Angel is like strapped up? Okay, so they have him like covered so you can't see him. It's like this big circle that this fucking roller coaster is supposed to plow through.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like chained up in it, and the roller coaster plows through it, and then all of a sudden he's
on
in
it.
the roller
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh shit, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's dumb as fuck, but yeah, it's good.
Wait, what'd you say, dumb?
So if she fell off this monkey bridge, that means it was probably like one of the straps or like things was broken onto it.
Mm-hmm.
So they need someone to fix it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fix it with a monkey wrench.
No.
Maybe if they had a barrel of monkeys,
Ugh.
they could have made those into a rope.
They throw him around like in that fucking Lion King game when you have to jump up, the monkeys throw you around and shit.
Or like Toy Story.
That too.
One of the guys I work with, he always calls like apple pie monkey pie, and we're like, why? He's like, oh, that's because it's made by them Amish girls. They're always itching their monkey, then touching that food and shit.
Nuh-uh.
That's
Nuh-uh.
like my favorite thing ever. And he explains the joke every time.
So this case is still considered unsolved. I don't know the answer, and there's a lot of different bizarre theories out there. Like I've read about cannibals, natives that killed them, organ thieves, and then just being two white girls alone out there in a foreign place is dangerous, and people could look at you as easy prey. And the scattered bones and the foot in the boot is weird, but it could mean that Kris was injured and maybe couldn't move.
Yeah.
And they survived for a few days and eventually died out to nature, and then possibly animals did the rest.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that they said the foot in the boot had many fractures in it, so that would support her falling and getting injured, that theory.
Oh yeah, totally.
And then we mentioned that the bleaching on the bones could be caused by sunlight exposure. I don't know how true that is. And I also found it weird that, like we said, none of the large bones were found. Like the biggest piece, I think, was the pelvis.
Which, yeah, there's a lot more that you would think.
Yeah.
Did
Like
they find
leg,
skulls?
arm? No, nothing. So,
Wow. Yeah, that's kind
that's
of
weird.
Like they still haven't. That's kind of fucked up.
The natives needed some nice cereal bowls.
Yeah, makes sense.
Maybe.
They can make one of them
Toof
into
is really into this theory.
make one of them
Possibly.
into an ashtray. The ground's not good enough, so.
How dare you? How dare you ash the ground? Use that girl's skull. How dare you? And they spit on the ground.
Oh,
That's
fuck yeah,
allowed.
dude. They shit on the ground.
Andrew fucking jerks on the ground.
Earlier this summer, there was like a bunch of holes in the ground when I was doing landscaping, and they kept saying it's from the cicadas. But I knew Andrew just got his new Girls Gone Wild DVD, and he couldn't help himself.
Dude, those things don't still fucking exist, do they?
So we didn't really touch on it too much so far, but one of the biggest criticisms in the case is the lack of proper police work. And after the bones were found, the police never made a grid or like a search grid or set proper police procedures. They never took soil samples. And then there's this quote by a local which describes how most people felt about it.
Yeah.
The rescue operation was a total clusterfuck.
Yep. I remember seeing that.
And one weird thing that bothers some people is that there weren't any real like forensics done at the crime scene or where the bones and backpack were said to have been found. Dogs never got to fully search the areas either, and it was felt that the bag of bones, whenever that was delivered, that they were just like, all right, that's the case, and accepted it.
Yeah, I heard when they got it, like the guy picked it up, and like he was just like a really like polite guy. He's like, "Oh, lovely," and then they called it the lovely bones.
How many dogs did they have searching?
I think the Dutch brought like 10 or so. They had like cadaver bones, or cadaver dogs, blood dogs.
Andrew.
So the Dutch let the dogs out?
So one reasoning behind some of the poor police work, they believe, is to protect the tourism in the area. Like Panama doesn't want people to think that there's a killer or killers or cannibalistic organ-stealing tribesmen out there in the middle of their tourist locations. So they kind of try to sweep some of it under the rug. But yeah, so now we'll talk to the actual theories, because that's all I had in the actual case. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to mention or talk about or bring up?
That missing sign thing.
Yes.
So, like, I read, I think it was the Daily Beast. They did a super long article about it.
Yeah.
Something they said was, like, near the end of one of the trails, they, like, usually put up a sign, or there's supposed to be a sign or something that says, like, end of trail, only way is to turn back.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a sign, and they said they deducted that there was, like, a freshly put up sign. So I think they
put it there.
They took it down because it was fucking raining or something. I don't know. And then like realized like, oh shit, we didn't have a warning sign up.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like this was after they knew they were missing, right?
Yeah.
It seems like they just put that up to cover themselves, like so they wouldn't be
yeah,
like in
I
trouble
agree.
for
It
it.
is something really weird though.
Yeah.
And all this could have been like if they just would have waited the next day to go with the tour guide. None of this would have even happened. All right. So do you guys want to talk about our theories then? Andrew, you go first. What's your theory?
All right,
dude?
my theory is that robots, robot aliens came down from outer space and they abducted these two chicks. And while they were like trying to shut the hatch or whatever, they like clamped down on one of the legs and the fucking part came off, and that's why that leg was there.
Well, shit.
right.
Well, none of us need to go after that because that was all of our theories. So.
How about the pelvis, though?
Yeah. Oh, good job, Spence. Yeah, how'd that get there, you son of a bitch?
Okay,
it was the
close on the pelvis and break it off too.
It was the whole like the lower half of that body just went down there.
And then the legs got eaten, and then they just didn't find those bones.
No, honestly,
that makes sense to me. I like that.
I'm gonna stick with Andrew's theory, just the foot, because something to think about the pelvis. There was nothing oddly shaped with the pelvis, was there? But these girls had diarrhea for weeks. So you're telling me
We have no proof of diarrhea.
Are you telling me that they're not blowing their O-rings out to gargantuan proportions? I don't think they even have a pelvis left after that.
I'm going to go to record and just say that's not right. And now we know it wasn't.
That's not how this works.
We know that it wasn't
That's not how any
Tim
of this works.
that had anything to do with it because it was just the foot and not just the tip.
Oh yes,
Is that what they call you?
Yeah,
Family reunions?
yeah, they did. They did. You have to listen to the last podcast for that.
All right, Toop, let's hear what your actual theory is, man.
Nah, my theory is just it's cannibals. Obviously, these towns are like secured and like whatnot, but you go on the wrong trail and like you think you're going south when you're going north, and if you're hiking for 3 hours, you can get 4 miles or something like that, and then you just end up in this Weinstein area. Well, they're starving for young girls over there.
See, my only problem with whether or not it was like foul play or like nature / accident, I guess, is there's not any proof of foul play.
No.
Granted, there's not a whole lot of proof or evidence for anything else, except if it was foul play, I don't think they would have made all those phone calls for like 7 days or whatever it was. And I think the camera maybe would have captured something possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could.
I just think I think what happened is I like the theory that maybe she got injured on that rope bridge thingy.
Yeah.
And got hurt, and then they got lost, and then just kind of both died out and lost to nature. That's what I think, but I don't know what happened to all the bones. That's what's weird to me.
Well, what are the theories that like people have like online and stuff? Is that basically?
There was one I didn't read that there's possibly like a serial killer in the area.
Oh, yeah,
there's
I saw
bunch of
that.
people, I guess, that also died around this time. I don't know. I didn't really read too much into it. And there's some that maybe those 2 Dutch guys they were eating brunch with at the beginning, maybe they did something. Maybe it was cannibals, organ thieves. Or,
I mean, organ thieves make sense, but then also there's no evidence.
see, that's my problem with like saying it was like a like maybe they're sold into like sex rings or things like that, is that they survive for like 10 days unless there's someone else just doing that shit with their camera and phone, but I don't see why you would to throw people off.
In the bones they found like were them.
Yeah. There were like a set of like 15 pictures that were taken within milliseconds of each other. So that way if you flip through them real quick, I guess one of the girls is doing the Angus shuffle from AC/DC. No. I'm just joking. All right, Spence, what's your theory on all this, man?
Well, they can't have been sold into sex trade because one of them doesn't have a pelvis.
That's true.
True. Yeah.
Wouldn't work at all.
Yeah.
That's true.
Foot fetish community too, lost one too.
Oh
So
shit. Yeah. Well, Andrew's out.
And the levels of decomposition, Like, I don't know exactly what they were.
Hmm.
But it seems kind of weird to find just bones
Yeah.
like that real quick.
I didn't know they didn't find skulls. That kind of like
Yeah.
makes it even more like eerie to me.
Yeah, no skull. No, none of the big bones. That's what's weird.
Yeah.
So I don't
No
know.
ribs.
Nothing. The foot was pretty much all they found. They found the foot had a bunch of fractures in it.
Did they find the Foot Clan?
Not the Foot Clan, but they didn't
Oh.
go check the sweet arcade. I want to hang out where they fucking
Yeah.
recruit the Foot Clan.
Well,
It
I
looks
mean,
awesome.
you fought them with that pizza.
Hey, dude, he said, remember when that girl is like, in your dreams, and then he's like, in my dreams, you'd be thinner. What a
Oh my
dick,
god, dude.
Is it Chino or Kino?
It's Kino.
Kino.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Dude, how the
shit,
fuck
man.
do you not remember the name that you?
I
Come
don't
on,
know,
Kev.
because it wasn't my real name, dude.
That's true. That's true.
I had to use code name.
The foot was missing, right?
Yeah, in the boot.
In the boot. In Panama.
But it had to happen.
Southern tip of Mexico.
Just a tip.
Mexico, where I'm technically native to.
Well,
The foot backwards is...
Oh yes.
the two.
It was fucking him.
Actually, it's only
I just-
it's only TOF because his family was so poor they ate the
O.
other O.
Oh fuck yes, dude. Yes.
Hall.
I forgave him for a lot of stuff,
That's,
but I mean, I stopped forgiving him.
That's a throwback to our last episode.
we used to call it SpaghettiOs.
Wait, Tim, did we hear your theory?
No, I don't think so.
What's your theory, man?
Tube seems like he really wants to go.
No, I just want to do more theories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he has Parkinson's, dude. Thanks for bringing notice to that, dude.
Sorry, too.
So, if there was like a jaguar bugging them, which they have those down there,
Yeah.
that might explain the camera flashes.
Oh, yeah, that could. Yeah, trying to like
Trying to
ward it
scare
away.
the
Yeah.
jaguar away.
Yeah. I heard that it does scare jaguars or
Then-
Andrew.
Eventually, when they couldn't scare it away anymore, that would explain where the bones went.
Yeah, true.
So, real quick, we'll just go around. Foul play, yes or no?
I don't think so.
Does that like include cannibal stuff?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's foul play.
Okay.
We're
I mean,
talking about, like,
I mean, that's their way of life. I can't even blame the cannibals for doing it. You step in their turf. If you step into the cannibals' turf, then like you're playing by their rules now.
in a
Just
weird
like if
way-
you step into Andrew's den,
Oh my god.
prepare to be tied into the swing.
Oh my god. Holy
in
shit.
a weird way, I do kind of.
Man, I think they made a mistake going. I think they should have waited
Yeah.
a day. So-
Okay, so foul play, yes or no? Tim,
I don't think so.
Spence,
No.
Andrew.
Or in Spanish, no.
No, I don't think so.
No foul play.
No foul play.
No.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, foul play.
Okay, that sounds.
Yeah,
good.
well,
I thought
wait a
you were.
minute.
Yeah.
Wait a
Tim,
minute.
you flip
Yeah,
flopper.
yeah, because I think the cannibals were like, ooh, meat, kill them, boom. And they're like, ooh, cell phones, we're fucking backwoods. We don't know how to use these technology. We can't even use the phone, so let's just turn it in. Because, like, I think in any case, anyone's stealing the phone and camera.
Yeah.
I think it is weird that the backpack just kind of showed up there.
Yeah.
one
No.
day.
Yeah. I thought that was weird
I think
too.
there's something up with that, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think that maybe it was like they had it for like a really long time, and that they were the ones that were trying to get into the phone with like the
See, that is
the
a theory,
password and
but
stuff. But then
but
they
the
call
picture,
911.
they have data on when the pictures were taken, also. You know,
how like long before that was like that
Well,
was
because they had the phone logs from the 2nd to like 11th, was it? Something like that.
yeah. So it's only 9 days.
And then I think it was the day 8, like April 8th or 9th, where all the pictures were taken.
Oh wow.
So I mean,
okay.
that's kind of like a long
yeah.
con to keep messing with the phone for that long.
Yeah. It's
To
true.
kind of, if they're trying to throw them off. I have no idea. Who knows? I really don't know.
Yeah. It's definitely a weird
It
case.
is weird. I don't think there's. I don't know. There's just not enough information to really know. I think they just died out in nature, but there is a lot of weird shit that doesn't make sense. Like the backpack showing up on a riverbank with no water damage. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Oh yeah. Like I don't know. I think the person with the backpack definitely was lying. But no, I'll check this up
Yeah.
with an Alyssa Lamb type thing where I don't think we have enough evidence
Yeah, it's just
Right.
weird.
to really say.
I mean, yeah, I think that's maybe part of why the bones weren't found, is that somebody out there might have hid the body on purpose, maybe because they wanted to take the backpack at first or something.
Yeah.
And then I read a theory that maybe then they got spooked when there was a big investigation, and that's when they turned in the backpack.
That's a
Oh,
good
okay.
point.
Yeah, that makes
So I
sense.
could see being no foul play, but maybe someone came upon them and took that, so maybe foul play after they died. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Now, if the body was like picked at by like I don't know vultures or something, then that would be foul play.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
I like that.
I've got a good deletable.
All right.
Let's hear it.
All right.
So I think the two girls went with the two Dutch guys into the forest, and once the two Dutch guys figured these girls were lesbians and they weren't into like any bisexual stuff, they're like, all right, we're out of here. So, like, I think the past that way, you know, they were mad because, you know, they're not getting any, and when a guy don't get none, he gets kind of mad. He's just like, you know what, the path's that way, girls that way. So the girls go down the path and they meet the indigenous people of Panama and some weird cannibalistic tribe, whatnot, and they find out that after a little bit of language barrier, they find out through the locals that they're also lesbians too. So, you know, they get a little bit of jungle fever, you know, because they're in Panama, you know, a little wordplay right there. And then if there's anything about those two girls dying being lesbians, like to cannibals, at least they got their pussy eaten one last time.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of the Brothers Commonplace. We really appreciate you guys listening to our podcast, and we would love it if you could help us spread the word. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter. Go to our website, brotherscommon.place. Yes, that is a real website URL. Check us out on iTunes and CastBox and leave us reviews and ratings wherever you can, and send us some feedback either on social media, or you can email us at brotherscommonplace@gmail.com, and we would love to hear your suggestions, or you know, if you like the podcast, if you hated it, we'd still like to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so special thanks to everyone that has been sharing and listening and rating, and to all of our Twitter friends on there that keep us involved. You guys rock. And if everyone could just leave us an iTunes review, that would help us out tremendously. And mention in it, if you're in a podcast, that mention that you're so-and-so from this podcast, and we'd be happy to give you a 5-star review right back, and we'd be happy to check you guys out also. So special thanks to everyone. Just keep it all coming, and we love you guys.
Absolutely.
Andrew, words of wisdom.
All right. Since this podcast has been growing by leaps and bounds, like just those websites that I always mention, you know, any of those random porn sites you get on, we're always on there. It's always a thing that we're always on that little bottom corner, Brothers Commonplace. Check us out.
All right.
That like little box that pops up, like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" It's just me and you trying to like spread the podcast. Oh my God. You are you horny? You want to listen to a little podcast?
Everyone out there, thanks for listening. Be good, stay safe.
Laugh at the dark stuff.
Hey guys, do you like mysteries and urban legends?
Do you like creepy stories and unsolved true crime?
Then join us every Tuesday and Saturday at Mysteries and Urban Legends and get to the bottom of weird urban legends and spooky mysteries.
This February, history will be made. Millions will watch as 80 years of unjust stigma is left in the past. A product that drove good people to the black market will be revealed as one that's creating a new global market. This February, what inspired the symbol of counterculture will at long last be seen as just culture. The new normal is coming. Will you be one of the first to see it? Visit medmen.com to watch an exclusive preview.
Napa Know-How.
This month, get a 5-quart jug of Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil plus a Napa Platinum Oil Filter for $21.98. That's a pretty unbelievable deal. But trust us, it's totally real, but only for a limited time. So get Napa Full Synthetic and a Napa Platinum Oil Filter for $21.98 today. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa Know-How.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 4/30/19.